In 2026, the worst reviewed EV in long-term reliability studies costs $12,000 more than the best one. Most buyers have no idea that's true. The gap is exactly what this video is about. The EV market in 2026 looks nothing like it did 3 years ago. There are more options, more technology, and more noise than at any other point in the history of electric vehicles. And that creates a real problem. More choices don't automatically mean better choices. They mean more ways to spend $45,000 on a vehicle that frustrates you at a charging station 300 miles from home, loses more value than expected, or develops reliability issues that a quick look at owner data would have warned you about. The gap between EVs that hold up in real ownership and the ones that look great on a spec sheet has never been wider. It shows up in charging speed tests that don't match advertised numbers, in reliability surveys from owners who've put 30,000 miles on these vehicles, and in total cost of ownership calculations most dealerships have no interest in showing you. We went through the data range figures, real-world charging performance, long-term reliability ratings, daily livability, and ownership costs across every major EV on sale in 2026. 5 of them passed every test. Here's what we found. Number 5. Chevrolet Equinox EV. Most people walk past the Chevrolet Equinox EV at the dealership. That is their mistake. The 2026 Equinox EV starts at $34,995. For that price, you get an EPA estimated 319 miles of range on the front-wheel drive version, making it the most affordable EV in America with 315 plus miles of range in its class. You're not choosing between range and price. You are getting both. The 2026 model ships with a built-in NACS charge port, giving you direct access to Tesla's supercharger network. Over 20,000 fast chargers across North America without an adapter. On earlier Equinox EV models, that required a clunky workaround. On the 2026 version, you plug in the same way a Tesla owner does. Inside, a 17.7-inch touchscreen runs Google built-in natively, the largest diagonal display among EVs in its class. Maps, voice commands, and charging stop routing all work through a system that functions the way it's supposed to. Over 20 standard safety and driver assistant features ship with every trim. Cargo volume reaches 57.2 cubic feet with the rear seats folded. The Equinox EV is not the most exciting vehicle on this list. It is smarter than exciting. And in 2026, smart money buys engineering per dollar, not badge recognition. Number 4. Hyundai Ioniq 5. The Hyundai Ioniq 5 remains one of the few vehicles that makes people stop and look in a parking lot. The exterior design is completely its own thing, and that is not the reason it earned a spot on this list. The reason is the complete package it puts together at this price point. The Ioniq 5 supports 800-volt ultra-fast charging architecture, which fundamentally changes how road trips feel. When you pull into a high-speed DC fast charger, most stops feel closer to a gas station fill-up than a traditional EV charging session. That difference matters in real daily life, far more than a range of numbers on paper. Inside, Hyundai integrated a dual 12.25-inch display setup, one for infotainment, one for the digital instrument cluster, built into a clean, horizontal dashboard that reads more like a lounge space than a cockpit. Vehicle-to-load technology ships standard, allowing the Ioniq 5 to power external devices directly from its battery. Useful for job sites, camping, or any situation requiring a power source away from a wall. The Ioniq 5 also comes backed by Hyundai's 10-year, 100,000-mile battery warranty, a level of long-term coverage that is still genuinely rare in this segment. Efficiency is strong, the interior is spacious for its footprint, and few EVs bring this many strengths together at this price. Number 3. Tesla Model Y. Let's be direct about this. Despite growing competition from every direction, the 2026 Tesla Model Y is still one of the most rational EV purchases available. The base rear-wheel drive version carries an EPA estimated range of 321 miles. Cargo volume reaches 74 cubic feet with the rear seats folded. NHTSA gave it a 5-star overall safety rating. A 15-inch center touchscreen handles the majority of vehicle controls. But the number that genuinely separates Model Y from most of the competition is not a vehicle spec. It's the charging infrastructure behind it. Tesla operates more than 80,000 supercharger stalls globally, with a US network that covers virtually every major highway corridor. At a peak charging rate of 225 kilowatts, the Model Y can add up to 160 miles of range in approximately 15 minutes at a supercharger, and the network reliability is something no other automaker has come to match. Come close to matching. On a road trip in a Model Y, you arrive at the charger knowing it will work. That confidence is still worth something significant. The software experience adds another dimension that competitors are only beginning to approach. Over-the-air updates push new features, performance adjustments, and safety improvements to the vehicle without requiring a dealership visit. The car you buy in the first half of 2026 will already have different software than the one that rolled off the line 12 months earlier. The Model Y is not without its friction points. Controls are heavily touchscreen dependent, which makes adjustment in the absence of Apple CarPlay remains a genuine frustration in 2026. Interior material quality also trails some competitors at similar price points. But when you weigh range, efficiency, charging infrastructure, and long-term software support together, the Model Y still sits in the category that competitors struggle to match all at once. That is why it remains the benchmark, and why it stays on this list like this. Before we continue, hit the subscribe button to stay connected with us. Number 2. Kia EV9. A short while ago, most buyers assumed a 3-row electric SUV meant one of two things: a 6-figure price tag or a meaningful compromise somewhere in the real-world ownership experience. The 2026 Kia EV9 made both assumptions obsolete. The basics first. The EV9 seats up to 7 adults across 3 rows. EPA estimated range sits between 280 and 305 miles, depending on configuration, with independent AMCI testing putting the real-world figure at 317 miles. A 99.8 kilowatt-hour battery packs the long-range versions, and the 800-volt charging architecture allows the EV9 to go from 10 to 80% in just as little as 24 minutes on a 350 kilowatt DC fast charger. Towing capacity reaches 5,000 pounds on properly equipped models, a number that changes the conversation about what a family electric SUV can actually do. Available dual-motor AWD with terrain mode and 7.8 inches of ground clearance means the EV9 handles conditions that most EVs are simply not built for. The interior is where the EV9 genuinely surprised everyone who tested it. First and second row lounge seats with ventilation and power leg rests, a 30-inch combined digital display, an available 14-speaker Meridian audio system, third-row USB charging ports are standard. Passenger room exceeds what the 2025 Rivian R1S offers. Second-row legroom outspaces the 2025 Cadillac Escalade ESV, a detail that belongs in a different category of vehicle conversation entirely. Cargo volume behind the first row reaches 81.7 cubic feet. The EV9 connects to over 29,000 Tesla superchargers through the NACS port standard on 2026 models. Vehicle-to-home functionality allows the battery to send power back to the house during an outage. And Kia backs all of it with a 10-year, 100-mile battery and EV system warranty. The 2026 EV9 earned a 2026 IIHS Top Safety Pick Plus rating, a 5-star NHTSA overall vehicle score, and Kelley Blue Book's Best Buy of the Year among 3-row EVs. For families who assumed they'd have to wait another generation for a genuinely capable 3-row electric SUV, the EV9 arrived early. And number 1, Rivian R1S. Every other vehicle on this list does something exceptionally well. The Rivian R1S does everything exceptionally well. And in 2026, that level of consistency across every dimension that matters is still genuinely rare. Start with the performance numbers. The R1S Quad with the max battery reaches 60 miles per hour in 2.6 seconds. That is not EV quick. That is supercar quick. In a 7-seat SUV that can carry a full family with camping gear loaded in the back, the R1S Tri hits 60 in 2.9 seconds with 850 horsepower on tap. The Dual with the max battery carries an EPA estimated range of 410 miles. The Tri is rated at 371 miles per EPA estimate. Those numbers remove range anxiety from the conversation entirely. Ground clearance, approach angle, and departure angle specs support genuine off-road capability, not the softened version most SUVs claim. 15 available drive modes across configurations: all-purpose, all-terrain, snow, sport, soft sand, rally, drift, rock crawl, conserve, cover conditions that most EVs are never designed to approach. The front trunk adds storage that comes standard instead of as an afterthought. The liftgate opens in multiple configurations to handle different loading needs. 7 seats fit real adults in every row without the third row compromise that defines most SUVs in this space. The interior is quiet, well-built, and organized around usability rather than visual flash. The Rivian mobile app handles trip planning and charging. GearGuard security monitors the vehicle when it's parked. Software updates push improvements over the air continuously. The R1S Dual starts at $83,990, and that price is real. But here's what the price actually covers. 410 miles of EPA estimated range on the max battery, 0 to 60 in 2.6 seconds on the quad, 7 genuine seats, serious off-road capability, and a thoughtfully executed interior, and a software platform designed to improve over time. The R1S isn't expensive compared to what it delivers. It's expensive compared to what most buyers expect from the category. Those are two completely different things. What surprised me most about the R1S? What surprised me most about the R1S wasn't any single specification. It was the absence of obvious weak points. Performance near the top of the segment, range near the top of the segment, interior quality near the top, capability near the top, software and technology near the top. No glaring trade-off that requires explaining away when someone asks why you chose it. That kind of consistency across every area that matters in real ownership is harder to find than any individual impressive number. Which one would I personally buy? Different buyers need different vehicles. The Equinox EV at $34,995 delivers more value per dollar than anything else on this list. The range is real, the supercharger access is there, and annual ownership costs are as low as it gets in the segment. The Ioniq 5 and Model Y both make a strong case for daily practicality and charging speed. The Ioniq 5 for its ultra-fast charging and genuine character, and the Model Y for the unmatched supercharger network and software reliability. The EV9 is the answer for families who need 3 rows without compromise. It is not what most people pictured when they imagined a family electric SUV, and that gap between expectation and reality is the most convincing thing about it. But if I had to spend my own money in 2026 on one EV I'd trust for the next 6 years, in any weather, on any road, with any number of passengers, I'd be in an R1S. Not because it's the flashiest answer, because when you run through every dimension that matters, it comes out at or near the top in each one. Which of these 5 surprised you most? Or are you already driving one of them? Drop it in the comments. I read every single one. Subscribe if you want to keep up with everything we cover on this channel. There's a lot more to unpack.